Why is it that we go through these life cycles that one minute you have no idea where you're going, and the other moment you've got a sense of purpose, clarity, and then the next day you have no clue anymore? Thank you if you're revisiting my channel, and welcome if you're new. My name is Amber, and on this channel I talk about self-leadership, taking ownership of your own life, self-love, manifestation, and a success mindset. So I believe that we go through cycles in life, and I want to go through these cycles with you today because when I discovered these cycles and the returning pattern of the cycles, life made a lot more sense to me, and it can be so chaotic and weird sometimes and unsure. So I wanted to make this video to explain what I have noticed myself, so maybe life can make a little bit more sense to you as well. So the first cycle that we go through is the beginning phase. Usually this phase starts when we've ended something. It's a feeling of a fresh start and new possibilities. Most of the time before this, we've gone through a certain transformation. And this transformation has brought us new lessons, and we're ready to integrate them and start a new chapter. So this can be moving houses, starting a new relationship, or starting a new job, or just a feeling of something new within your current situation. You're not the same person anymore. That's the start of a new cycle. So the next part of this cycle is feeling bored. So usually when we get used to our new situation, our new lifestyle, our new sense of being, there comes a point where we're just getting used to things being this way. This can take a long time, but it can also move really quickly. And it's usually a point where we're ready to start growing again. So we've integrated what we've learned. We have become the person that we needed to be for this next phase in our lives. But now that we are this person, the next challenge comes to you. So sometimes this happens when we're bored. Sometimes this happens when we just need another lesson. So you cannot even get to the being bored stage because life just throws you for a loop before you can even get there. Nice. But it has a reason because of boredom, because of a new lesson, you experience contrast. So contrast is needed for us to realize what it is that we really want. Contrast is usually something that we don't want. It kind of takes us for a detour. Contrast can happen in all sorts of ways. It can happen by someone slowing you down with where you want to go. It can be that just something that you really want in your life is just not coming, no matter how hard you're working towards it. Or you do not have any clarity around something that you really need clarity on. And usually this contrast, this boredom, or this new lesson can really show you, not really when you're in it, but usually when you look back on it, it will give you a lesson to what it is that you're still missing before you can go on to the next stage. And it is always kind of preparing you to become this new version of yourself. So there is this contrast in your life that is showing you what you do not want. So because of that, you're setting a new intention. You're saying kind of to yourself, I do not want this, but I would like this. So you're setting an intention. And when you set an intention, it is usually a turning point in your life when you will start to need to become the version of you that has what your future version already has. So the intention that you're setting is maybe let go of this person or this thing that is standing in your way. Or maybe it is to have more fun if you're bored or you would like to grow more. Or if it's a conflict, you would like to resolve the conflict. You set the intention to change. And this change, this intention will give you that change that you need. So that is kind of the next phase that you will find yourself in, because intention setting is really powerful. So you always get what you ask for. Maybe not in the way that you expect it or want it, but always in the way that you really need it. And so by this change, by setting a new intention, You will see things in your life move around. You will see you needing different things. You will see yourself letting go of old patterns. And maybe this can take a while because most of the times we are really comfortable where we are. We would like to stay there, even if there's this contrast and we have set an intention. Some of us kind of ignore the signs to change when the change comes. So maybe this is realizing that maybe certain friendship don't really fit you anymore, or your romantic relationship, or maybe your work, or something small, maybe a habit. You realize that it's not really working for you anymore, or it doesn't feel right anymore, but you don't really know why, and you don't really listen to it. But there is something that is not really in alignment with you anymore. It doesn't really resonate anymore with the path that you want to be on. And so when we really acknowledge this to ourselves that something isn't working anymore, and we let it go, or we sometimes it's just not even in our control. Sometimes situations just happen where we do not have a choice, and the thing that is not working for us anymore will be removed out of our lives. I believe that this is divine intervention, which means like the universe kind of takes us by the hand and says, we'll do it for you because you're not going to do it by yourself. Otherwise, you would have stayed in your comfortable bubble. And so the old will be removed so that we can step into the version that we need to become to get to where we want to be, like the intention that we've set. But like I said, sometimes we are really comfortable in our situation. And even though we've set that intention, we do not really listen to what it is that we need to let go, maybe because we don't know how to listen or we don't really get it. So we can really just take our time to let the old go and welcome in the new. So this can take a while. But the longer you wait, the longer you stay in the situation that is not working for you, the more you will notice it will become a bother to you. Like it will get more difficult, and there will be multiple ways of, I believe, the universe showing you that it's not good for you. So until you let go of the old, you cannot really welcome in the new. That's kind of how it is, because it's taking up space. When you create space, something new can come in and fill your life. Like if you are working a job that you do not want, but you're not letting it go, how can you find a job that will fulfill you, that will make you happy? It's just our decision to create that space. If we are not creating that space, how can you expect change? Positive change. So it's a choice. But sometimes it just takes a while before we feel ready to make that choice. So the next phase is the emptiness and confusion. And if you clicked on this video because you're in that phase, I'm so sorry for you, because it can feel like it takes so long. And it can really send us into a spiral of discovering who we are and not knowing where to go. And if you're in this phase, I want to remind you that this is not for nothing. This is preparation instead of punishment. But it can really feel like punishment sometimes, because it just doesn't seem like we can get any clarity, or things seem like they're not moving after you've let go of these things. This is because you've created now the empty space, and it's kind of the waiting period until something new is following up. And it is usually kind of a test to remember our power, to recognize our strength, and test our patience, basically. But that's because now we've let go of the old and we want this other thing. But are we really ready to receive it? Are you self sabotaging? Or maybe you are doubting yourself a lot. So, this is kind of the phase where you are really tested, and to see if you can receive what it is that you really want. And this can also take a long time, but most of the time we are kind of prepared for it already, and it just kind of feels like it's taking a really long time, but we're actually ready. So, when the confusion subsides a little bit, when we are clear on what it is that we want and we feel worthy of it, and we are not really backing down from the challenges that life throws us, and we stay patient, that is when the new phase will come around. So, usually, when the new phase comes around, it's something really new. It's something that we haven't really been through before. Maybe it will give you emotions that you haven't had before, or like things are really good for us, but we haven't had anything really, really good happen in our lives before like this. So we're like, is this really for me? Am I worthy of this? And you feel a little bit worthy, but you really have to get used to this new feeling. Or maybe it's like a new job and you know you're capable of fulfilling like the job description, the task that the job is giving you, but you are tested in a lot of ways. Like there are new people that you need to get used to, they need to get used to you. Maybe there are certain things that you still need to learn, and so this can make us feel very uncomfortable, maybe insecure, but it's also exciting and we want to go in this direction. But we kind of tend to go back to this safe little bubble of ours that we created before, our comfort zone, and we might slip a little bit back into it. And this is the self sabotage. But because we have burned down the bridges of the old, when you go back, it is kind of not feeling right anymore. So maybe you are coming back to habits that are comfortable to you, like maybe distracting yourself a lot through social media or watching series. But because life is like you were ready for this new cycle, so act the part, maybe you will get reminded that you are really ready for this phase, but we just need to get used to it before we can really own it. And that is this phase. So maybe you slip back into patterns, maybe you feel really insecure, but at the end of the day, you through this phase you will remember that you are worthy and who the fuck you are, you know? Like the feeling of, okay, I deserve this and I don't need those old things anymore. I've become, ready for this next phase. So that is kind of the last phase, and then we get back to the first phase that I talked about, which is getting used to being this new version of ourselves. And then maybe the boredom will start again, or maybe like the conflict or the contrast will come up again, and we'll set a new intention. So for me, it was really helpful to discover these cycles because I saw them happen over and over in my life again and again. And through that, I kind of knew what was coming. So, especially if you're in the phase of confusion, it is really nice to know that there always comes a point where there is clarity, where things start to move again. And I want you to know that setting intentions is really powerful. So this can happen on a grand scale. Like these cycles that I talked about are usually like the really life altering stages in life. So kind of the intentions that we set before are kind of big, maybe like the changing jobs or the relationships change or whatever. But you can also set little intentions, and that is what I would recommend you do if you are in the phase of confusion or feeling insecure about knowing if you're worthy of the good things that are coming into your life. So maybe set the intention for clarity, maybe set the intention to feel worthy, maybe set the intention to get help. And intentions are really powerful because it's just being aware of what it is that you need, asking yourself for it. So when you are setting an intention, it will stick in your unconscious mind, and your unconscious mind will always want to have something to focus on. So you can just speak it out loud, write it down on a piece of paper, and then your intention will be set. Your subconscious mind will remember the intention and go out to look for what it is that you need. And sometimes, like, people can come to us Sometimes you will see something when you're like scrolling on Instagram, like someone like a mentor or maybe a free course or whatever. And that is kind of how the subconscious mind works. You can just give it an intention, you let it go, and then sometimes it just comes to us. Sometimes you have to work for it, but set conscious intentions. I love like living with intention to know what it is that I need, ask for it, and then receive it. Law of attraction. So if you're going through that, I would highly recommend just setting intentions and hang in there if you're in the difficult phases, but know that the next ones will come around as well. You got this. If you like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up, maybe subscribe to the channel, and I'd hope to see you in my next video. Have a nice day.